This video relates to section 4 and 5 of the Advancement in Rank portfolio. So section 4 deals with professional development. So you have a reflective narrative that is a maximum of 2 pages. And again, with this narrative, it's going to be, what is your commitment to professional development? Why do you feel that that is important to do it? So many of us maybe have to do professional development to keep our certifications current. That's probably the real reason we do it, but then we want to understand, well, why is it important? Why does our accrediting bodies or our certification bodies want us to do that? It's to stay current with the changing economies and the changing rules and laws and technologies, and all that stuff impacts all of our professions. So you want to kind of talk about that, like why is it important to stay current and to have that knowledge. So then you'll have that reflective narrative discussing it. And again, it shouldn't just be a regurgitation of what's in the table, but more of the why. Why is it important? Or what did I walk away from? Maybe I presented, maybe I went to a conference and I was the presenter. Why was that very meaningful to me? Then in your table, though, so you'll have that separate table, the template will be out there in Blackboard. Then you want to list out again when you attended these professional developments, and then what your role was. What was it, and then what was your role? And the reason we want to identify the role is because maybe you were the presenter, maybe you just attended. But that makes a difference. If obviously if you're presenting, that's great, and you really should highlight that. So then you'll have your, was there any publications that you wrote? What presentations did you give? They could even be presentations just here within the college for best practices, or, for a bridge event or something like that. Were you involved in getting any grants at the college or doing any research? Then you'll discuss your professional affiliations, and some of those you may belong to an outside group. Some of them could even just be online. Maybe you belong to a community group, in LinkedIn, that every day you're checking and that you're keeping up with the changes in technology or the changes in your industry. So it could be something even more of an electronic. Or you subscribe to a journal that you get every month, and that you're, again, just staying current and increasing your learning, because that's really what this section is dealing about, or dealing with. Then you'd also list those activities that you go to. So did you go to a seminar? Did you go to a conference? Did you go to a workshop? And then again, like I said, put in the date, or at least by semester, what the workshop was, and then what was your role. Were you a presenter, or did you just attend? So make sure you list all of those out. And again, a lot of them could be to maintain your certification, but you would still list them. Or again, we have in-house people who come and speak to us here, maybe during startup week or at different times during the semester. The college will pay to have those people come and teach us about, engaging the students or whatever. So list those as well, because those are also professional development. Then section 5 gets into your service. So your service is kind of outlined to say, okay, is it to the department, to the division, or to the college, or to the outside community? So you'll have it, again, it's a template set up in Blackboard, and you're going to list out what your service was, and you're going to check and indicate, was it to the department, the division, the college, or the community? And every once in a while, it literally could be all 4 of those, but normally you can kind of narrow that down to say, okay, well, it's a service to maybe my department and my division, but you're allowed to select a couple. But so, to say, for example, say you're on you're on faculty association, and you're on the academic concerns committee. So that is really going to be a service to the college. You could maybe argue it to say, hey, but I'm my division rep, so okay, maybe it's to your division and your college. But maybe you're just an at-large member, it's just to the college. So just kind of make sure you kind of give a little thought to those when you're checking those boxes. But so to start, though, you'll have a service philosophy, and that will be also a maximum of 2 pages. So again, it's going to go back to say more of like, why do you think it's important? Like, why do you think it's important to be involved in committees here at the college? Why is shared governance a thing that we do here at Stark State. So why does that give meaning to the college and the things that we support and put into practice? Or again, maybe you're very active in your church, or you're active at an outside community organization, and you donate a lot of your time and your services. Why is that important to you? So I think that, again, it just explains the why behind the services that you do. So I think that that's very important to kind of do a little, kind of internal searching to say, well, why do I do that? Why do I like to be involved in those committees? Why do I want to take leadership roles? So, kind of map that out. And again, I think with all of these philosophies, once you have them written out, ask somebody else to proofread them, just to make sure it seems logical and it makes sense, and it sounds like, a well put together narrative. Then you'll go into your listing, again, the templates in Blackboard, and you will list out, okay, these are the committees that I served on, and again, what was my role? So was I chair? Was I co-chair? Was I just an active member? And then again, what areas did you serve? So, like for your department. So maybe you are the club advisor for that club's department. So you want to put that in as your service to the department. Maybe it's also a service to the division. If it's, if it's a bigger club that serves the whole division, you might want to select that box. But you want to definitely put that in there, and that you were the club advisor, and that you led them for however many years or however many semesters that you did it. Then did you develop new curriculum? Did you make a class that was a traditional face-to-face class into a Web3 class? So did you do any of those kind of things? Those would all be services to your department and or your division, I guess, depending on how where that class would roll up in. But that could be a number of items that could go into there. Then again, your committees. So if you're serving your department, again, or your division on a specific committee, so if it's the business and IT division, and I'm the rep that sits on president's cabinet for that division, I would list that and then check that box. If you were on any type of standing committees, so institutional effectiveness, academic policies and procedures, those type of committees, those would be representing your division, because each division has a representative. Again, if you were like at large, then I would say check it as a service to the college. Did your division put on any projects, any events? Were you, a lot of times when we have these high schools come, were you the lead person that you talked to the different students that came in to tour Stark State College? You were that division representative. Those could be examples of things that could go in there. Maybe you came up with a new certificate or helped develop a new certificate or degree program for the division. Again, that could be division or department, I guess, depending on where it rolls out. And then your service to the college, again, would be any of those committees, especially I think if you're that at-large rep, or again, if it's even just you're going to check division and college when you're sitting on president's cabinet or the institutional effectiveness committee, those types of things. Did you give any presentations at any of the bridge events or the retreats or focus days? That would be a service to the college. Then your community could be, are you involved in any outside, are you on any boards of charitable organizations? Are you involved in, fundraising activities for the United Way or for any, the Refuge of Hope or anything out there? Are you working with youth in some sort of a way, mentoring high schoolers in, different activities that they're involved in? Do you do anything outside of that? So I feel like any community service is relevant, that you're actively out there, again, either, in the community, involved in a higher level position within any type of charitable organization. And then especially important if it ties to your job. So if you're doing anything where you're taking the students and you guys are volunteering and helping out that organization, highlight those for certain, because those tie back completely to your purpose of teaching and having those students develop. So again, that's going to take a little bit of work, though, mapping those out. And then the thing that you want to do is you want to make sure it's very meaningful service that you've done. So not necessarily just the basics. So I mean, like, I attended graduation day. Well, we're all required to attend graduation day, so I wouldn't list that on my table. Or I attend my department and my division meetings. Again, that's really nothing special. Everybody attends those. So those kind of items I would leave off the table because they're just kind of basic. Anything, though, that you've done, kind of above and beyond, where not everybody did it. So not everybody joined a committee, not everybody chaired a committee, not everybody attended different professional development activities. So those kind of things that set you apart or set you, one step ahead should definitely be highlighted in the table and and then maybe discussed in your narrative, depending. So those are all of your sections. So that completes the sections for the portfolio that you will be uploading into Blackboard.